Good morning and welcome. It is Jam in the print room, hopefully live on LinkedIn. There's always that delay, so we don't know if we've actually started or not. So we will play on as if we have. Good morning to everyone. Good morning to the guys. Matt, how are you doing this week?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. I'm a little bit all over the show right now because I'm trying to log into LinkedIn so I can see if we are live or not. But
I could see you
yeah,
weren't concentrating fully, so I thought I'd throw it at you.
that's why you shouted at me first.
How about you, Luke?
Um,
I'm good. I'm hitting refresh on the laptop over here, and it's not come up yet, but I'm sure it will do any moment.
Okay.
How are you, Jack?
I'm good. I'm really
Yeah,
good.
we are live.
We are live. Excellent. I knew
We
we
are
would be.
live. Yeah.
Anyway, doesn't matter about that. Andy, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Short week for me. I am away Thursday to Sunday, so yeah, I'm going with Emma to see Jamiroquai.
Nice.
Very
Yeah,
nice
looking
indeed.
forward to that. Yeah,
Very
it's gonna
good.
be really good.
Well, if you are watching on LinkedIn, please do throw questions at us. We're going to have a chat about various things that have interested us over the last few weeks. So please do drop your questions on. One of us, I'm sure, will spot it and throw it in the mix. But I think the first thing we're going to talk about is something you did a little while ago, Luke, which was have a digital detox. Do you want to say what that is and why it's a good thing?
Yeah, I just stepped away. I switched off, turned off all the digital devices, just left my phone on the side all weekend. I tend to do it most Saturdays as well, so I can just take in the world around me. I've been spending most of my weekends having a fight with a puppy. So we have wrestling matches every Friday night and every Saturday daytime. And it's just nice to leave the phone over there, not stress about what's coming through, not worry about what I've not got to or what's waiting for other people to come back on. And it just takes so much pressure off. You do the first time you do it, you do think, what am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing out on? But it's almost like it's like a FOMO aspect, but you're not actually missing out on anything because anything that anyone wants to actually get you involved in, you know about up front anyway. And if there's
mhm.
any last minute stuff, it's still there. It will still ring, but it's only the most important things that will ring. So it'd be like my mum calling, making sure that I'm still coming for dinner on Sunday or something like that. You know,
And that's a
it's
call that you don't miss. A free
exactly
Sunday lunch, you're all
no,
over that.
yeah, 100%. You see no Yorkies, mate.
I
Unbelievable.
mean, it'd be weird if I had, but no, I haven't.
Well, I do send a lot of food pictures.
Just rocking up and I'm there like,
You're always welcome, boys. Always
do
welcome.
you have gravy down south? That's the question.
Yeah, only on roast
Yeah,
dinners, not with chips. Generally speaking,
curry.
unless you go to KFC, that's when you get your gravy with your chips. I know you did a poll on it, Matt, and the answer was resounding.
I tried to do that on a Saturday when I knew you didn't have your phone on, but
Got to
Taking a swig of drink, can you not?
caught him on the swallow. Right, so I did
not
think of a
again.
similar thing, digital detox.
Who's that? Sorry.
Have either of you ever done
Yeah.
one?
No, and I should. My phone is constantly going. I'm finding actually that customers are moving away kind of from emails and going onto WhatsApp. I do have WhatsApp on my desktop, so I can kind of keep looking at the screens that I've got. But yeah, it's just constantly going. It starts at 6 in the morning. I'm still getting messages at 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. It just becomes quite a convenient way, I think, for customers to talk with you now. Everyone's on their phone. WhatsApp's very easy. They can send images of printers and something's gone
Yorkshire
wrong or
puddings.
Yorkshire puddings, those kind of things. So yeah, I'm constantly on the go, and it's probably something I should, like Luke does, turn it off, take in the surroundings, live in the present, enjoy, and should do it more often, really. Hopefully, I can get to turn the phone off when I'm away for the next few days, actually.
Yeah, so we'll start. How do you separate the sort of social WhatsApps from the business ones?
Yeah, that's something I haven't done. So where it's my company with Luke and Brian, one phone is both, and I have been thinking about possibly separating those, having two phones like a drug dealer, and having work and social, and just turning one off and then get to it the next day on my terms rather than it constantly going off. It's difficult, but I'm kind of entrenched in one phone now. It's difficult then. Which way do I go with it? Do I keep the phone I've got with friends, or with customers, and vice versa? So yeah, it's a bit tricky one. But yeah, I
I
definitely need
think
to do it
you're
for
in too deep.
yes, I need to do it for a brain break. I think a digital detox. LinkedIn, no WhatsApp, no calls. Just go out for the day and see what happens.
I think it's one of those things where you need to take that step, isn't it? You need to make that decision. Just make the cut and say, look, this is a work phone now going forward, and then get yourself a personal number, and then give everyone your new personal number, and then it will be those people that you want on your personal phone. Because I think that's why I find it so easy, because that generally, obviously working in insurance, most people in underwriting will carry on working, but they'll go offline at 5 o'clock, so they're uncontactable, so they can work through the stuff that they've got already. And then come weekend, you do see people dropping online at like Sunday afternoons. That's generally when I drop on as well. But having the two phones means that I can separate it. This is my personal. This is where people can always get me on my personal. I made a point of giving you guys my personal number. There's a lot of people within the industry that do have my personal number, but if it's strictly work related and it's underwriting and stuff like that, unless it's something urgent, it's on my work phone. And that does help that separation. I think it's important to keep your head clear. It means that you can keep flying straight. It means you can really focus when you're back in as well, because you've spent that time to address the stuff in your personal life away from all of the muddiness. If that makes sense, you're kind of clearing the water a little bit more.
Yeah, and you can very quickly become overwhelmed by it all, can't you? If it is kind of just 100 miles an hour all the time. It's weird. Like, I'm probably busier outside of work than I am in work, and so especially at the weekends as well. Like managing the football teams, and Hugo's playing football now, and like all the kind of clubs that the kids do, and swimmings and all that type of stuff. But I'm pretty good, I think, at picking and choosing who and what and when I answer. So yeah, I think it's just knowing what works for you as well. I don't have I have one phone that's both personal and business related. I don't want to be consumed by, right, okay, that's my personal one and this is my business one. It's social media for me, like the whole doom scrolling thing. I said before we kind of kicked this off that I'm now going to start posting less on my and interacting with people that I went to school with 25 years ago. Like nobody cares. And if I can replace it with like learning and like focus on the M2 Instagram account, for argument's sake, and seeing the projects that are happening and stuff, it's still giving you that fixation of, oh yeah, I'm doom scrolling or whatever. But you're actually learning from it as well. So I think there's digital detox is good, but I think there's a load of stuff out there that you can actually use in your favor rather than just wasting hours upon hours of seeing shit that you don't need to see.
Yeah, TikTok's my one. I love TikTok, but the amount of hours I must have spent on that thing. I know you've got rid of it, haven't you, Luke?
Yeah, I got rid of
Yeah.
that a long time ago. It was when I was laying there at 10:15 at night, and I'd made a point of going to bed by 10 o'clock, and I'm laying there, and I look down, and it's 10 o'clock, and I look back at the clock in the corner of the phone again, having scrolled 3 times what it felt like, and seeing it's 10:15. And then you scroll another twice and it's 10:30. You just feel the time just being eaten up, and I'm not about that life. I don't need it. I've got too much to be doing. Well, I struggle to sleep as it is. I don't need all of the blue light coming in at me. I know people that have turned their phone to grayscale so that it's not that much of a draw to them.
Yeah, I've had that.
So that seems to work for a lot of people as well. So there's like Matt says, there's all these little tricks, there's all these little functions that you're able to do. I mean, Matt, like
It's an
you say,
addiction, though, isn't it? Let's be honest. Like
yeah.
it's an addiction. It is.
Yeah, I think Russell Kane, the comedian, I think he went to rehab, I think, for phone addiction.
Wow, really?
Because there was just so much
Wow.
information. He's a massive learner as well. I really like his comedy. And yeah, he had to go to rehab to kind of get off being on the phone.
Yeah,
Because
Ed
he
Sheeran.
wanted to keep learning constantly, but also wasn't living in the present.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran gave his phone up completely. You can only contact Ed Sheeran by email. or the people around him. And obviously you only get the people around him's contact details if you're within that circle. But we don't, I want to be contacted. I want to be contactable, but I still need to build in that separation of, right, I've pushed really hard this week. I've gone 500 mile an hour. Matt, it's probably similar with you training the koala bears. It's just constant. You just need to switch off. You need to stop. So, yeah.
What about you, Jack?
Well, yeah, one of the things that changed how I deal with this was having these wearable watches that keep nudging you almost constantly. So a long time ago, I turned off even vibration on the phone. So if you're ready to look at the phone, you look at it. You don't want to be watches would just nudge you with all kinds of nonsense. But I quite like having it for the the walking stats and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, just turn all those nudges off if you can. Work out how to use it, and just look at the stuff when you want to look at it. I mean, I always think sometimes when you go out for a walk and you've forgotten to bring your phone, and you think, oh no, but actually that's quite nice.
Yeah.
You're just going to go out for a couple of hours, and this, nothing's going to bother you. So, we love what we do, but also you've got to have your own space and your own head time.
Yeah, 100%. And it keeps you clear. It stops that. It helps to eradicate any of that anxiety. And anxiety has been spoken about a hell of a lot by a lot of people recently, especially within the industry. And, it helps you maintain that focus, maintain that clear space, and stop that spiral.
You started off by saying that it's the FOMO of not having your phone. That's where the anxiety really hits in.
Yeah.
What's happened that I'm not going to have to deal with later? Well, it's fine. It'll wait.
Yeah, I've got a customer where I have to give up my phone when I go in there, and the amount of times I touch my pocket to get my phone, I go, oh yeah, I must do that like 30 times in an hour. And as soon as I'm out, I'm straight back on the phone, waiting for all my messages to pop through, and I get it all done. I didn't need to know at that time, so it's a bit of an addiction, I guess. But yeah, it's something you need to just switch off from. You can't be contactable all the time.
You know what's mad? I need my phone to drive my car as well. Like I can't get into my car without my phone. Which is absolutely nuts. But then obviously I've got 3 young boys as well, and I'm trying to dictate, or no, not dictate, but I'm trying to lead by example to them in terms of you don't need all this technology, and like almost trying to relive my youth of play outside until the streetlights come on and all that type of stuff. But then if I'm on my phone and they're like, "What are you doing?" It's got nothing to do with you. Get back on your phone. But like the whole screen time and like setting an example to my kids is massively important. So we always sit around the table in the evening and have dinner together. There's no phones, there's no technology or anything like that. It's another big bugbear of mine when you go out for a restaurant, like you go out to a restaurant and people are just like the kids have got headphones on and watching an iPad. Anyway, but yeah, so it's just setting examples and using what I'm teaching my kids to I live by as well. I have to.
Yeah, take them to Kirby.
I know they love Kirby. You know, they really do. Absolutely love it. Yeah.
Cool. I think we've done that one. I think we could just do a little poll or something at some point. But I'm curious to see how people separate themselves.
I'll do it. I'll do it right now if you want.
Put your phone down, Mr. Hanley. Okay, one of the things I really like to have a chat about. I mean, we all love being in this industry. I think in our little separate ways, we've done other things, but we've kind of come back here and immersed ourselves in it. What are the sort of things you've done doing what you do that you probably wouldn't have been able to do anywhere else? Andy, do you want to kick us off on this one?
The obvious one for me is this podcasting. I don't think the other 2 roles I had, which was a barrister's clerk and what did I do in my last job? I can't remember. Prudential, where I was middle office. Only there a couple of years. Sorry, Lee. I wouldn't have been on a podcast for that. So this has pushed me out my comfort zone, which has been great, and I do enjoy it. The other big one really is driving a van. I don't think I would have done that. Sometimes I have to jump onto installs and things, connect a printer with my engineer and those kind of stuff. So yeah, driving a van, do quite enjoy that actually from time to time, but also it means I'm going out and seeing the customers and seeing the pain points of business on installations and logistics. And another one is running a business. I don't think if I didn't work with my dad, I don't think I'd be running a business. So I've learnt all those things about employing people HR, looking at spreadsheets and accounts, those kind of things. That's been a big one for me. How about you, Matt?
Oh, I was hoping to pinch some more ideas before I have to answer. I'm going to say I do, and I'm really thankful for having the opportunity to do this. But I do a lot of like the panel discussions at like the print show and the sign and digital and all that type of stuff. And to like it, I'm genuinely humbled when people ask me to give my opinion on the, I don't know, the next generation and recruitment and attrition and retaining people and all that type of stuff. So I'd say that like public speaking, and I might come across confident, but I absolutely shit my pants all the. I absolutely crack my pants all the time. Um, like beforehand, it's like that buzz and that adrenaline of like, this is proper out of my comfort zone. No matter how many times I do it,
You fly
and
head first into that, don't you? You love that feeling.
yeah, I do. Yeah, I proper get a buzz from it, and a lot of the times I absolutely wing it. I don't have any kind of plan, and I feel like I'm pretty good at letting it just unfold as it happens. I could probably get a bit of a bigger buzz from not having a plan and just relying on instincts and natural conversation and stuff. So I would say that. I would say that public forum of representing the brand, but also the industry.
Good. How about you, Luke?
Yeah, what he said.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, no, I'm used to talking on microphones and stuff like that, but it's always been in a very cheesy factor, or it's been within a nightclub, but like nightclub environment, like a DJ environment, or yes now, that kind of DJ voice. Let's go.
Our WhatsApp voice notes.
Yeah. We don't talk about those.
Welcome to Jam in the Print Room.
Rachel at the Daisy.
Rachel at a Daisy.
It's having that opportunity to go onto the panel discussions. It's having the opportunity. I mean, you guys grabbed me and brought me into this podcast, and that I never saw that coming. Especially after stumbling over words within the London office and economy. Yeah,
that was the best one.
It's just, yeah, it was a nice live in-person podcast, and I've really enjoyed it. And to then have you guys approach me and go, right, you're in. It's like, wow, what's going on? And then more recently, people highlighting that I'm making an impact in the industry. I was once told I'd never work in the print industry again after having a phone thrown across the room and a bin kicked at my head and stuff. And that was a very rare occurrence in a litho print company, who I won't name. But I was told I wouldn't work in the print industry again because I was no good for it. And I'm in a position now where I'm delivering back to the print industry. I'm helping companies protect themselves better. I worked with a client yesterday. I've saved him thousands. I've saved him thousands on his print business. He's a very well-known print business owner. Due to various legislation, whatever, regulations, I can't name him. If that person wants to be named, they're welcome to. But it's having that opportunity to better protect businesses. We've seen cases recently where they have had some massive claims. And because we've done the correct work in the initial stages of setting up that policy, they are correctly protected, and they're getting their business interruption paid. They're getting their machines repaired, or they're getting their machines replaced, and it's at a new cost, and all of that. But yeah, it's that sort of opportunity, having been told that in the past, and then coming back and going, yeah, it's great. And then to be able to be put on a stage and talk about it and actually educate some people within the industry in an area that no one has time to talk about. And something that people don't understand in insurance is all of the work is done up front to prepare that quotation. Whereas in print, it's all done after the quote. You work out the positions, you work out your coverage, you work out what you're going to use in materials and X, Y, Z, press hour, whatever. You've got your cost, and you can mark that up by whatever. Insurance, the cost is the cost, but it's all done in releasing those terms up front. So yeah, it's it's putting all of that to practice, learning a new skill, learning a new trade, and helping the industry that I truly love. And I get to mess around with you boys every now and then as well, which is also great. So yeah, no, I really appreciate it. And I just got to say hello to Chris, who has arrived in the chat, Chris Davies. So
Hello, Chris.
hello, mate.
I guess we'll find a way of sending a link and just come and say hello. Nice.
What about you, Jack?
Well,
I feel like you've probably got the most experience out of all of us, so I'd be interested to see what you do now that you didn't think that you would have been able to do.
Well, I think the transition, although I'm still doing a lot of PR, taking on the sort of more editorial journalist role has really opened up so much more of this industry, certainly, and now that I've focused on this industry. And you end up being invited to a lot more things, traveling to Europe and America, which is all good fun. But going there not as a PR person where you've got to organise things and get people to make sure people are okay and nothing goes wrong. You're going as a journalist, so actually you're being generally looked after and led around, and you get the opportunity to talk to who you want to talk to, go to some quite nice events, fair amount of pina coladas, which is always quite good fun. Yeah, and you get to, and as you know, doing things like we talk about panel discussions, so you get to host panel discussions, you get to arrange the event, and just meeting so many more people. It's long maintained. This is an industry where everyone is very personable and want to support each other. I mean, obviously, you're in competition, you're all fighting for the same business, but there's plenty there. You can work positively together. And just sort of choose the direction you want to go in. I have to say I do love it. And as we've all said, doing something like this, which is again right out of comfort zone, we're all kind of, it's good fun doing. I quite like playing with the tech side of it. Not that I understand it very well, but it's just good to have these conversations, have a little chat, hone my presenting skills, which I've got to keep my brain working, as you say.
It's no coincidence that you actually made it live once you were orchestrating it again. So
don't know
you're
what,
a lot better than some of us.
there is some relief that didn't go out live.
It was good fun though. It was good fun.
Okay, so we like that. So again, if anyone is watching or sees this afterwards, it'd be good to know what it is that your roles have allowed you to do. I mean, we've all got lots of different things we've had. Right, I think a bit more serious. Do you want to have a little look at what's going on? We've had the speech this morning from our wonderful Chancellor, and it doesn't fill you with lots of joy. And we just said we wouldn't touch politics because I'm not sure I entirely agree with that expression, Matt.
Yeah, don't copy and paste the WhatsApp chat.
So can we be more positive? I don't know about you guys. I'm really busy at the moment. Things are going pretty well. I mean, I'm only small, so it's kind of not a great litmus test. But what is the current state of the market? How are you feeling things are? How about you, Luke? Start with you, if that's all right.
I feel like print in general has had a bit of a boost over the last couple of weeks, and I'm not too confident that this budget is going to be the accelerant that they need to throw onto that fire. I feel like it's going to slow things down slightly with spend, because print has always been a barometer to industry. It's always been the first one that ceases to be utilised. It's always been the one where the marketing teams hold back on, and we need some real solid backing for marketing teams to then go, right, direct mail is doing bits. If you look at things like Tom Barnes posts blogs about print and direct mail very, very regularly on LinkedIn, does really good.
You
job
can only
of it.
mention him if he's watching. So,
well, I'll make sure he's watching. But yeah, he throws in insights, and his specialism is assisting printers with direct mail. So he offers solutions with mailing costs and things like that. Before, back in the day, it was all about C9 agreements and stuff like that. And yeah, it was those areas that were always confusing, but they were the areas that cost money and where savings were made. We need that solid base of a good budget in order for marketing teams to go, right, our budget was this, based on this, now we can do this. so we can throw this into direct mail. Tom's just said he is
I
watching.
love it. I love it.
He's just popped on. Hello, Tom. Good timing, mate. Yeah, so it's those sort of conversations that become ignited by the foundations of a really, really good budget. I'm not sure how this one plays out. If you look at recent times, I was listening to LBC last night, couldn't sleep as standard last night, listening to LBC, and they were talking, a company rang in and was talking about how their wage bill had gone from 24,000. It's only a small shopfront business. Their wage bill had gone from £24,000 a year to £37,000 a year, literally overnight in the last budget. Now, if you're a small business and you're turning over a small amount of money, that could cripple you instantly. We need those foundations in order for companies to go, right, yeah, I'm paying my employees the right amount, but I'm getting this support over here. I'm getting bits and pieces over here in terms of, and I cannot think of the word, subsidies. I'm getting a subsidy over here. I'm getting some release on on my VAT over here. I'm getting assistance over here. So that is going to mean that I can spend this much more on my marketing activity and consider this bit of finishing on this print. And that will help the print businesses out in the long run. I don't think this budget is it. Sorry.
We were hoping for more positivity. We don't know for sure. I mean, there's a lot of big picture stuff that may or may not affect things at that level. But my feeling is there's generally more. There are lots of new products coming in, lots of new big printers. There's lots of things come out this year. It does seem quite positive. You're probably a good test for this as well, with people moving around.
Yeah, we are absolutely stacked with people hiring, which is great for a recruiter. We've changed our model ever so well. We've dramatically changed our model now, in terms of giving people an option of how much involvement they want us to work with them on. And a lot of my current customers and new customers are working with us retained, because it shows that they want to take their time to find the right person from a cultural, kind of professional attitude, behavioral type of thing, as well as industry knowledge and experience. But for people to pay a recruiter up front is phenomenal, because I'm not pissing in the wind in terms of like there's loads of different options to change and juggling loads of balls that I can't actually control in recruitment. And this, it is only a good thing for everybody involved, from the client, from the candidate's perspective. But
Sorry. I clicked on the wrong part of the screen and it's like,
I was like, oh, wow.
Good job we're not live, eh? We'll just edit this out.
Never work with animals or children, hey, Luke.
Or two screens.
Yeah.
dear. Sorry.
Just play that bit again so I know where I was up to. No.
I'm not sure where you were up to.
So a lot of the roles that I recruit for dictate on how the industry is going. So if people are looking for salespeople or a sales director or business development managers, then obviously they're looking to buy turnover and increase that and look for that growth. And is that a question of they need more or are they in growth mode? Whereas if they're recruiting for production staff and project managers and account managers and things like that, then they need to do more because they're busy. They can't get it out quick enough. So that's always like a decent barometer of how things are going. And at the minute, a lot of them are on that operational side in terms of the live vacancies that we've got: project managers, account managers, production staff, production managers, operation managers, and looking at everything to get that work back out, as well as good salespeople are always hard to find in this industry, like proper unicorns. The barometer at the minute, I think everybody that I speak to, everybody's busy with the right level of work. Pipelines are good, which is keeping me busy. And long may it continue.
Okay, well, you and I and Luke, to a certain extent, are all dependent on people like Andy to get out there and sell lots of equipment. How's it going in your world, Andy?
God help us all.
Yeah, God help you. I'm finding that it's gone bananas. Yeah, it has been for the last 6 months, really. We just haven't just seen anything like this. The supply side is up, so that's ink and paper. We have a little tiny little print side as well, which we support customers with disaster recovery. That's up. I think we've had our second and third best months ever on that side. Supply side is booming. Machine sales could be slightly better. That's my side of the business. Brilliant. So, but yeah, it's obvious that people are printing more. The more ink we get out the door, people are printing more. So I think print is really buoyant at the moment, or in particular signage. But yeah, I think it's going to continue. Yeah, I just think it's taking off, and people have got a bit more, slightly different to what Luke said. I think people have got a bit more faith, possibly in where print is heading. And we're finding that with the bigger machines as well. People are we've sold 2 V7 Epson flatbeds, and people are investing in that big kit, whereas previously they weren't. Go back to 9 months ago, 9 months ago, people weren't doing those big deals, and it seems like now people are got the confidence to invest.
Would you
Is there a
say?
bit more cash? Oh, go on.
Sorry, mate. Would you say this is because it kind of ties into what you were about to say, Matt?
How do you
Would
know?
you say you started? You
Mhm.
started. I'll finish. Um, Would you say it's down to the fact that most businesses now have paid off their COVID loans and they've got a little bit more capital available, or
That's what I was going to say.
they've managed to pay back and they know that they can commit to these payments now, so and they can survive while making those payments. They can still keep the lights on. They can still keep the milk in the fridge. Do you think that that is helping with the investment in new machinery
Yeah, I think
rather than people are printing more?
I think if people took out 50k, I think they over the 6 years, I think it was something about £850 a month. So if that's starting to come off, their monthly budget, they've got a little bit more to spend on marketing, new equipment. So I think, if a business is used to paying those, to go to a flatbed printer, which might be around that kind of figure per month, then they're looking at it going, well, actually, we could now afford to do this because we have afforded to do this. Yeah, I think people might be able to take a little bit more risks, knowing that they've been able to pay that kind of money back.
Oh, do you think
If Andy's doing well, oh, sorry, go on.
There's
I'm
definitely you go,
so bad at this. If Andy's doing well, then it means that I'm always going to do well as well, because if he's selling printers, then the people that have just bought the printer need a salesperson to go and fill those printers and a print operator to operate those printers. So, yeah, please continue to do well.
Well,
Yeah.
if either of you two
Try my
weren't
best.
doing well, I'd be flabbergasted.
Oh, that's cute.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
thanks, babes.
you guys are amazing.
I was just going to say, talking about
Takes me. Sorry, Jack, go on.
yeah, that's right. Just talking about you saying people are printing more. So the IPIA, the Print Industry Association, they have been pushing quite hard just to spark people back into printing. I mean, the digital world has had it all their own way for quite a while. And there's been I think they called it the new narrative for print, and put lots of research in about the value of print and what print makes people feel. Do you feel like that's a campaign that has sort of seeped into the wider consciousness and is increasing the amount of printing going on? How would any of you know, I suppose, is the other question.
I'm currently recruiting for a pretty senior position for a print organisation that we will all know, and they proactively and want to bring somebody in from outside of the industry. So there's new blood, fresh perspective, someone that is going to be able to come in and question, why do you do it that way? If you did it that way, there might be a reason why we don't do it this way, but and just absorb it all. And that means that obviously I've been speaking to a lot of people outside of the industry quite recently, and people just take for granted what our industry does. If you go to an Oasis concert or you go to the football and you see all these live events and exhibitions and just stuff that happens without print, it would be boring as anything, and it just wouldn't have the aspect or the elevation that it deserves. So I think people, like when you used to watch How It's Made, and you're like, oh my God, people just take for granted that it's there. I don't think people realize that it's print. I don't know what the original question was. I don't know why I said that, but
No, but I think that's what it is though. But people have gone, oh well, printing's bad for the environment. Printing costs more money. We can't. We can just do it all online or via social media. And I think that is twisting round again because people are seeing that the value is in print. I think I saw one bit of research that teenagers in particular trust printed material more than digital because they believe it, and it kind of makes sense. It requires more effort to print something. I think
print.
that's filtering through.
Sorry, Jack. It creates an atmosphere, like you say. The football mat. It creates an atmosphere. Otherwise, it's just going to be a concrete block, grey. You haven't got your colours of your team and all those kind of things. But also, print makes memories as well. If you downloaded a program onto your phone, you change phones, or it gets lost in, all the other stuff that we've got saved up into the cloud. But that program that you've got from, an FA Cup final, that stays with you. You take that to your next house and your next house, and you can show your kids that. You can't get that from something digital. So maybe, print does evoke thoughts and feelings and emotions more so than, something on screen.
Yeah, like a picture of Dennis Bergkamp, for argument's sake. You can't, you're not just going to have that on your phone, are you?
I've got a picture of him in the spare room, and it's called the Dennis Bergkamp suite.
There you go.
By you.
It's. I was just thinking, what's the alternative to print in those environments? And it's all digital, isn't it? It's digital screens, it's digital advertising hoardings, but you're not going to. How many people are going to download a digital program and pay for it rather than buying a program at a little ticket booth on the way in to have something tactile in their hand that they can hold on to? Holding onto a phone, you might as well be holding onto a cucumber. It's so used to having it in your hand. It's just it is what it is. We started this conversation by talking about digital detox and staying away from these. Events aren't going to replace everything that's printed with digital screens because not everyone, but most people are talking about taking your eyes off of a screen. We probably grew up, move back from the telly, your eyes will go square. You get square eyes. Stop looking at a screen. You're going to stop watching the idiot box. Go and explore the real world. That's something that I've kind of brought into my life with my daughter, similar with you, Matt. Stop spending so much time on TikTok. Stop focusing on Wallies that are over here doing this and that and the other, because they're making money that you're not going to be able to make because you're wasting your time doing that. You're not going to be able to focus on your studies and whatever you need to be doing while you're looking down and scrolling, doom scrolling and swiping, whatever. So I don't think those digital innovations that we've seen come in events are going to fully replace the printed and the more tactile. I don't know where Cucumber came in.
I know.
I have no
has
idea.
inspired,
It works.
and Tom has said that you've given him a great idea for his next mail campaign. Luke and his
print on a cucumber.
You're welcome, Tom.
Right, we've come towards the end of our wee show here, but I thought we'd have a little chat about. We've got bonfire night tomorrow, and that always feels like once you're past that, you can start thinking about Christmas. How do your roles change as we sort of get through November and into December? I think for me, there's more events. Looking forward to a bit of partying, but definitely slows down for me, sort of second half of December onwards. How about you guys? Matt, do you want to go first?
No, I don't. I want to let
Interrupt.
Andy go first because he was rude enough just to jump straight in. So, Andy, what about you?
So sorry. Mine's exactly the same as Jack's. Yeah, the industry closes down for us pretty much the second, third week of December, and actually it's funny going back to digital detox. That's probably the best time for me. The industry stops that in between Christmas and New Year. We all close as a business. The signage industry closes as a business, and I don't check emails. I don't need to. It's the one time I can have a proper brain break because I know my customers in the main aren't in. Stuff isn't going wrong. No installs, no orders, and I can just shut off. Yeah, I really look forward to that time. So yeah, we're kind of second, third week of December, and then it's a case of tidying the desk, sorting the admin, and just preparing for the next calendar year. Really, you slightly different,
Yeah.
Luke, Matt.
Go on, Luke.
Well, firstly, before I answer, we've had a query from Jack Collins. And he said, "Hi guys, I'm curious to ask Matt if he's seen an increase in demand for CFOs. From what he's seen, finance in print is becoming more complex. A lot of UK-based print businesses are owner-managed. So, Matt, are you seeing an increase in demand for CFOs?"
No, but if anybody needs one that is looking, then I'll be able to go and find you some and create that demand. But no, it's probably the least area that I would ever be kind of retained on and asked to go and find. To be fair, I think depending on the size and the scale of the business, I think a lot of it can either be outsourced to your accountant and bookkeeping. Or B, because it is owner managed, then a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I'm not sharing that with somebody that's not in the circle." If you know what I mean, in terms of that whole P&L thing. Like Andy's, the size of Andy's business, for argument's sake, I don't think you would require anybody to be a particular financy person. You can do that yourself and outsource some of it, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Which probably accounts for representation of about 70% of the industry in terms of the size of the businesses and stuff. So I've personally not seen an increase in it. No.
Is that because it's not?
Sorry, go on, Andy. I was just going to say, I think if you get a good finance director that understands your business, understands finance, that can make a huge difference to a business of any size to just increase your profitability where your resources are. They're hen's teeth, though, aren't they? Should be able to find someone that can do that. Take the next level up from just doing the accounts and bookkeeping to really tying it in with how you run your business profitably and sustainably.
Yeah,
but I think that's justification of people.
He's off.
Oh, that's better.
Right,
Cheers.
Andy.
I was going to say, what was I going to say now? A CFO probably they're telling you, sorry, you're telling them how profitable you are, and they're the ones who try and find all the, try and reduce the amount of tax, I guess, in that kind of role. To Matt, I guess that's not a print specific role, whereas normally you're looking for sign makers, operators, packaging, those kind of things, but maybe that can be sourced with outside recruitment rather than internal. I know, I'm sorry, but that's what I was thinking.
Why did we let him speak?
Sorry, I'll go back.
Sorry, kids, you're not eating tonight. Andy's decided to promote other recruiters.
But I mean, at that kind of level, it would not be print.
I can do that.
Okay, fine. Sorry, my bad.
Was Marco print specific? I know he's not a CFO, but no. Anyway,
no.
Everybody ignore Andy. No, it's absolutely right, though. I think it's the job that they do. They don't need to have industry knowledge to make it profitable and all that type of stuff and look at that. But if you needed an industry-specific person, even if you didn't, then yeah, we could find.
Well, I think this is where the trade associations come into their own as well. Jack mentioned the IPIA earlier and the research they've done in the new narrative for print, but they offer a lot of support to owner-managed businesses where the focus is get the job in, get the job on, get the job out, make sure the client's happy so they'll get the next job in so we can get the next job on. So it's that cycle, and that's where trade associations can come in with their advice for regulation that might be coming in that maybe a CFO would be handling. Things like the EUDR with the deforestation regulations that the EU was talking about, and then that became a whole talking point for Print Week and BPIF and various other members of the industry, so that they could start putting guidance in for the smaller owner-managed businesses to be looking at. It kind of takes that weight from right here, summarizes it in a way that ChatGPT or Copilot or one of the others may do, but it does it in a print-specific manner. So I think anyone that's looking at CFOs or anything like that, maybe look at the trade associations first, because they might help you in ways that the expense of a CFO wouldn't.
They do have job listings on there. Not that we talk about that. Okay, so going back to hopefully that answered your question, Jack. You do have responded. That's good. Just going back to getting towards the end of the year, Andy mentioned about really everything slows down, taking a bit of a break. Do you go into that period with a sort of right? I'm going to do a lot. You mentioned admin. I'm going to get on top of my admin. I'm going to get my plans in place for January. Did you go in with that idea and then sort of actually end up chilling a bit? How about you, Luke? What are your thoughts in that time of year?
I mean, December is silly season, isn't it? It's silly season. We've got FESPA at the end of November. They always put on a really, really good, really informative, really entertaining summit. And then it turns into let's meet at the bar, have some decent conversations in the evening. And then it depends how many conversations you have and how many drinks you have when that ends. And then that for me is the start of where do we go now? So yeah, I mean, where print kind of slows down and quietens down over Christmas. When I was in print, I always worked over Christmas. I never really had Christmas off because I was always there for anything that did come in, or I was always on hand for anything that did come in. So yeah, I do kind of focus on admin. I do look at bits and pieces. I'm new business. My admin can leave a bit to be desired, but I have Lee doing audits for me in the background, and he makes sure that I'm still walking the tightrope and I'm
Still
staying on the right
compliant.
side of the line. Yeah, I think the worst I'm getting now is amber. When I first started, it was this is red and this is red and this is red, and he made sure to point it out as well. He took great pride in doing that, but it made me better. I'm working on the admin; it's getting better, but there's always stuff that you can do to improve. So for me, it's more about the scheme development. It's more about the insurance that we're offering. It's more about the package that we're offering, how we're targeting the print industry, how we're working with the print industry, where do we fall short within the industry. And I've highlighted a couple of those areas, and there's work being done to improve those proactively right now. I've got a really good team around me, and I've got a really good management above me. And Jem, you've all met Jem. You all know exactly how he is, and he's taken all of the feedback that I've given, and it will develop us better. So that will be my focus over the quiet period, really. We do have some decent businesses that will be renewing over Christmas. So there will obviously be those targets, but yeah, go for it, Andy.
I didn't want to interrupt or talk over anyone else. Do you find that you have more claims in January as printers do turn off the machines? Things go wrong. Do you see like an influx of claims at that period of time?
Not really, no, because I think we touched on it previously. You run an inert fluid through the print unit. You know you clean the heads. Everyone knows how to shut down a piece of equipment correctly. If you're talking about litho presses, it's very rarely that they stop, but overnight they stop and they're cleaned down prior anyway. Digital presses, depending if it's link or electrostatically charged powders, it's the e-ink tends to have more issues than the e-powder toner because they are just, let's face it, glorified photocopiers. But they can do some wonderful things. Claims wise, what we do see in a pattern is as people come up for their renewal date, and this is it's nothing malicious. I think it is just the way of the world. It's Murphy's Law. It's as people approach their renewal date, that's when they're likely to have a claim. It might be 3 months prior, but generally speaking, unless they claim quite a bit on like fleet policies or something throughout the year, on their main policy, which protects their process and production equipment, it will be closer to the renewal date than what you'd like, because the claim can take a period of time, and it kicks in various levels of cover, whether it be the replacement, which can take time depending on what the machine is, repair, which can take time depending what the machine is, but then also the business interruption cover for the period of time that that machine is out of action, and the gross profit that that business is losing during that period of time. So, yeah, generally speaking, there's no pattern, but the pattern we've noticed just by looking as handlers is it always happens near renewal date. Yeah.
There you go. So, just back to the question, Matt. You're probably more like me. You probably with the fam kind of slow right down and.
Yeah, but it's a people business, isn't it? Recruitment. So if people like Andy, hiring managers and hiring companies, are like, well, you know what, I've got a little bit more time to be able to interview these people morally and ethically. People aren't having to go to the dentist or the doctor's appointment because they've got annual leave to use and stuff. So it's a perfect time for people to actually go and have conversations and interviews with people. So I think a lot of recruiters and a lot of people let it be quieter. But actually, it's a really good time to really get in and have non-committal conversations with organisations when everyone can afford a little bit more time to invest in the process and stuff. It's October, November are like silly season for us because it's the whole new year, new you type of thing. And if you've got a 4-week notice period or a 3-month notice period, then everything that's happening now is a January start anyway. And ironically, December is a really good time to, if you've accepted a role and you are starting in January, then go and join them for, I don't know, a Christmas breakfast or maybe not the Christmas party, but just get involved in that culture and that onboarding period of time it's a really useful kind of arena. But if I wanted to, I could go out as Christmas. No one's recruiting, but just you got to make stuff happen, haven't you? But in between Christmas and New Year, absolutely, it's tools down. It's nobody wants to hear from a recruiter, and I don't want to speak to anyone about recruitment. So I'll be in Anglesey in between Christmas and New Year, and with the family and stuff.
Nice.
Christmas in Anglesey when I was 13 in some pub somewhere, which was quite nice. Haven't been there since, so it'll be lovely. Thanks very much, everybody. I hope you have a lovely week ahead. I know Andy is off to see a bit of the cosmic, what's his name? Oh, get the brain working.
That's going to be in.
Is there any questions before we go from anybody? I'm not on LinkedIn at the minute, surprisingly.
I'm just refreshing, just for a quick. I don't believe for a second that you don't like talking about recruitment at any time of the year.
That's very true. It was all just for the pod.
Yeah.
No, there's no more questions. I've got one for you though, Matt. Do you want to show us your chickens?
Where are you going to go with that?
Here we go.
Who do you want it? Pep or Timothy?
Pep. Let's see how Pep's doing.
I'm going to get scratched to buggery, aren't I? Hang on. Oh, right, okay. I mean, I thought this was going to be the pod that would be remembered for the cucumber pod, but actually it's going to become the chicken pod.
Chicken and cucumbers.
It's the one where Matt got his cock out. Sorry. It had to be done. Please don't cancel me.
No. He may never know that happened.
I can hear you.
The place for all your banter.
Hang on a minute.
And print equipment.
You didn't have enough to do, so you've got actual chicken. That's not a chicken.
It's not a chicken, it's a rabbit. I don't know why he said...
Okay,
I don't know why
we need some basic David Attenborough animal lessons here.
I thought we had chickens.
And here we have...
Pep. Yeah, you can tell by the... Sorry.
Who's it named after?
It looks like Pepper. Oh my God.
Okay.
It looks like Pepper.
Yeah, well, that was lovely.
I feel that was not really worth the scratches that I'm going to get.
But... Watch your back though, mate. That's all right.
No.
Right, everybody, we should let everyone get on with their day. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. And we'll see you next time, Pep. Everybody.
See you later.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.